Hi, I'm Julian Grimm, and I might not be the best music producer, but I certainly am the flirtiest. Today, I'm gonna give you 7 different tips to finish your tracks. And this is coming from a guy who never finishes his own tracks. Right now, in my computer, there are so many tracks that I've never finished in my life, and they're almost ready to go, but still, I find an excuse not to just mix them and release them. So let's get right to it. Tip number 1. This is the easiest one, so I just gotta get it over with. Just finish your fucking tracks. Just stop what you're doing right now, go to your computer, and finish that fucking track, man. What more can I say? Just finish the track. Come on, Kevin, I'm talking to you. Just finish the fucking track, Kevin. Just do it, man. Please. It's easy. Just finish the track. I'll finish my tracks if you finish your tracks, okay? Deal. So, tip number 2. Don't wait for gear. I've made this mistake so many times, like, oh, I'm gonna finish this track, but once I get that special guitar that I've been saving for, or I'm gonna finish this track when I can actually go to a studio and record a nice drum kit, I'm gonna finish this track when I get this new plugin that I really need to, you don't need none of this shit. Work with what you have. Nowadays, you can record your tracks in anything. You can record tracks in your phone. There are huge YouTube channels of people releasing songs they recorded on their phones. Use whatever you got and make the best of what you have. Limitations are good. You have to find solutions. You become more creative, more spontaneous, and all these things combined together is gonna benefit your track. It's gonna create something unique. It's gonna get you through challenges. It's gonna make you a better person, man. So don't wait for gear. Minimal gear is necessary, but you don't need everything. So don't wait for gear, man. I've waited too much for gear, and in the end, I use the simplest plugins that I have in my DAW. I use my guitar that's 10 years old, and I record drums in shitty studios using my interface and microphones that I have, and that's it. So don't wait for gear, okay? Thanks. Next tip. Tip number 3. Deadlines, motherfucker. I hate this one so much. This fucking thing people invented about deadlines freaks me out because I had this idea in my head that I would be a free man sailing with the wind and just fucking making things, and once things are ready, they're gonna magically go out to the world and people are gonna love them, and I'm just gonna keep making things and they're gonna go out and it's gonna be super magical and stuff. But it never worked. I have a bunch of tracks stuck in my computer because I have no deadlines for when I want to release them, and that's it. But every now and then, that for some reason I invent an imaginary deadline, I fucking stick to it and it works and I release the fucking track. I don't know why, it's fucking amazing, but every time there's a deadline, I work night and day and the fucking track goes out and everything's fine. It's crazy. It's a crazy idea. I don't know why it can't just be natural, but it's not. Another thing that can help is let other people know of your deadline. So once they're getting close, you can be held accountable to your deadline. So always tell people about your deadlines as well. That's another good sub-tip right there. Sub-tip. The next tip is painful, but it's necessary. It's finish your shitty tracks. Even if you have a shitty track that you hate so much, try to finish it. And I can't stress that enough because sometimes I start a track and I think I'm just fucking awesome, right? I'm going like, fuck yeah, man. This track is so good. This track is gonna change the world. It's amazing. And the more I work on it, I start hating it and hating it and hating it more. And suddenly, all of a sudden, I don't wanna fucking have nothing to do with that track anymore. It's the most horrible track in the world and I don't wanna touch it anymore, so I put it away. But if you actually make the effort to finish those tracks and give them a chance, because you're giving up in the middle of the process, you're actually not letting the track get to where it needs to be. Sometimes the track's just gonna be shitty. What can you do? Nobody's perfect, right? But sometimes that track is actually getting somewhere and you're only gonna know if you finish the track. So finish your shitty songs, finish your shitty tracks, and you might be surprised. There were many songs that I thought, this song's ridiculous, man. I'm never gonna show this to anyone. Finish it, put it away for a week. Next week I listen to it and it's like, fuck yeah, man. I actually like this song. I'm gonna fucking release it. And that happened multiple times. So finish your shitty tracks. It's painful, but it's worth it. Tip number 5. You are not CLA. CLA, if you don't know already, is a guy called lord-alge or alge. I don't know. I'm foreigner, okay? This is the best that I can do. He's the guy who makes all the plugins in the world, and he's the guy who makes all the rock music tutorials in the world. He's that guy. You probably know him. You probably seen him. To me, he's better known for mixing the Green Day American Idiot album. He's awesome. His mixes are amazing. He's very fast. He's very cool. He mixes in big analog consoles. He's an awesome mixing engineer, okay? But you're not him, and neither am I. You're probably just like me, in your room, in your house, in your little studio, mixing songs in your computer, a lot of times on headphones, trying to do your best. You don't have a fucking analog mixer, you don't have any of the fancy gear, you're just trying to do your best. And the other thing that you don't have is years of experience like that guy has. Maybe someday you get there, but right now, it's not that time. And don't worry, you can use his tracks as references. I use them all the time, but don't be disappointed when your track doesn't sound like his track, because it's just impossible. Right now, that guy's better than you. And maybe someday you guys will be equal, or maybe someday you'll be better than him. But right now, he is better than you, and your tracks are not gonna sound like his. So don't stress about it. And maybe the things that make your track different right now from his are the things that in the future will make you unique. So don't worry, use him as a reference, use other amazing mixing engineers as references, but don't worry when your song doesn't sound like their song, okay? Don't stress it. You don't have to compete against them, because if you stress about competing with people that are years ahead of you, you're gonna feel self-conscious and you're not gonna finish any tracks. So don't worry. Do your best, and once the track is finished to the best of your abilities, release it. Tip number 6, and I have 2 hands, yeah. Tip number 6 is simple, fuck up. Don't be afraid to fuck up. When you go into a mix, go with an open mind, an open heart, and do what you think you need to do to make that song sound awesome. And sometimes you will fuck up and the mix will end up sounding horrible. But don't let that get you down, because mixing is such a subjective thing. It's so hard to mix. That's even when you're years in your career as a mixing engineer or as a music producer, some of your mixes will still suck. So don't overthink about it, okay? Go into your mixes, fuck up, go back, fix it. It's fine. Everything's gonna be okay. And if you fuck up, don't think it's because you're the worst mixer in the world. Everybody fucks up. It's hard to mix. It's very hard. So don't let your fuck ups drag you down. Just keep moving forward and finish the fucking track, Kevin. Please. We're minutes into this video and you haven't finished the fucking track. Kevin, go finish it. And 7. Oh, I managed to do this with my hands. It was hard. I had to do it like 5 times and cut it out of the video. But 7, tip number 7. Yeah, no one cares. No one cares if your mixes sound good or not. Because you know what? People are listening to the music. Of course, it's awesome when the music is supported by the best mix ever. But most of the people don't know what the best mix ever sounds like. They listen to songs in shitty headphones, in laptop speakers, in phones. They don't have the knowledge to know what's a good mix or a bad mix. They're listening to the song, so make sure you're happy with the song and mix the best that you can, but don't overstress it, because people don't care about the mix. Most people don't even know what mixing is. Don't worry too much about it. When you're listening to your track, usually there's a point where you get super happy and you're like, man, this is sounding really good. When you get to that point, save your session, walk away from the computer, and leave it like that for a second. Go do another thing, come back later, listen to it again. If you still feel happy, it's done. And you should just bounce that track and get it out there, okay? So don't overstress it, because no one cares how you mix the track or what happened in the mixing process. No one cares. Everybody's just listening to the song. And if the song's good, it's probably gonna be okay, even if the mix is a little bit wonky. So don't worry about it, okay? And this is the first time that I did a list video. So what did you think? Did you like it? I'm getting a little bit coy again. I told you I was flirty in the beginning of the video. So now I'm a little bit insecure and I want your approval. So did you like it? Did you like my little video? If you did, please press all the things that help me in the world. And thank you so much for watching. Finish that fucking track, Kevin. And I see you next time. Bye.